Power, politics, and justice, three forces shaping one dramatic courtroom showdown in America. This week, a federal judge dropped a stunning ruling that could change the course of a major case involving former FBI Director James Comey and possibly expose deeper issues inside the U.S. Justice Department. Accusations of political targeting, questionable legal procedures, and even threats to fundamental justice. What really happened? And could this entire case collapse? Stay with me, because today we're breaking down one of the most controversial legal battles in recent history. And trust me, you'll want to hear what the judge said. If you think this case is just about Comey, wait until you hear how it connects to multiple high-profile political critics. Let's dive in. On Monday, a federal magistrate judge, William Fitzpatrick, made a rare and powerful move. He declared that there was significant evidence of misconduct in how the criminal case against former FBI Director James Comey had been built. He specifically pointed at Lindsay Halligan, the U.S. attorney leading the prosecution, who was appointed by President Donald Trump. The judge said Halligan may have made serious legal mistakes while presenting evidence and instructing grand jurors, errors that could have influenced whether Comey got indicted. In his written ruling, Judge Fitzpatrick stated, "The record points to a disturbing pattern of profound investigatory missteps." He said these mistakes were so serious that they might have undermined the integrity of the entire grand jury process, a process meant to protect legal fairness. He then ordered that grand jury materials must be shared with Comey's legal defense, something that almost never happens because grand jury information is normally kept secret. He called it an extraordinary remedy under unique circumstances. If the judge thinks the process itself may be flawed, could the entire case against Comey fall apart? James Comey, once the head of the FBI, has been a strong critic of Donald Trump, especially after leading investigations into the Trump campaign's contacts with Russia in 2016. Comey has argued that the criminal charges against him are politically motivated. He claims the prosecution was the result of Trump's personal spite, a way to punish him for speaking against the president. But here's where things get even more explosive. Comey isn't the only Trump critic facing charges. After his indictment, two other notable critics of Trump were also charged. One, John Bolton, Trump's former national security advisor, and two, Letitia James, New York State Attorney General. All three have clashed politically with Trump, and all three ended up indicted by prosecutors appointed during his administration. Critics say this is no coincidence. It looks like a pattern. Legal experts have warned that this could threaten one of the core traditions in American justice, the idea that the Department of Justice operates independently from political influence. But who is Lindsay Halligan, and why are people questioning her role in all of this? Lindsay Halligan, the prosecutor leading the case, was appointed by Trump in September. But here's the surprising part. Before this appointment, she had never worked as a criminal prosecutor. Her background? She mostly handled real estate law and had previously represented Trump in civil litigation. Yes, that means she had worked for Trump before she began prosecuting one of Trump's biggest critics. That raised serious concerns about bias and potential conflicts of interest. Some judges and legal experts have already questioned whether her appointment was even valid. In fact, another judge had earlier expressed skepticism about how she was brought into the position. Despite these concerns, she went forward with Comey's prosecution. But Judge Fitzpatrick's ruling highlighted major errors in how she presented the case to a grand jury, mistakes that could have violated Comey's rights. So what exactly did prosecutors do wrong, and could these mistakes get the case thrown out? Judge Fitzpatrick's ruling revealed a list of serious missteps in the investigation against Comey. Prosecutors reused old FBI evidence without getting a new warrant, possibly violating legal search rules. They allowed an FBI agent to testify who may have had access to privileged attorney-client information, something that is strictly protected. Halligan reportedly made statements to the grand jury that could have harmed Comey's legal rights, possibly influencing the jurors unfairly. These issues raised a major question. Was this prosecution conducted fairly, or was the legal system manipulated? because of these concerns, Judge Fitzpatrick ordered prosecutors to hand over grand jury documents to Comey's defense. This is extremely rare. Defense lawyers almost never get to see what happens inside a grand jury. But the judge said it was necessary to ensure that Comey's rights were fully protected. But even with the judge's ruling, could the Justice Department fight back? And what happens next? Right after the judge's ruling, prosecutors pushed back aggressively. The Justice Department quickly moved to pause the order, arguing that Judge Fitzpatrick may have misinterpreted some facts. Later that same day, another judge, Michael Nachmanoff, temporarily halted the ruling and agreed to review it further. This means the fight over whether Comey's defense will get access to grand jury materials is still ongoing. The Justice Department hasn't commented publicly, but this pause signals that the battle is far from over. If Comey's defense can prove that the grand jury was tainted or that prosecutors mishandled key evidence, the entire case could be dismissed. But what exactly is Comey accused of? And how strong or weak is the evidence against him? The charges against James Comey claim that he lied to Congress in 2020. Specifically, prosecutors say he falsely testified that he had not allowed anyone in the FBI to act as anonymous sources in media reports related to investigations of Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. The government argues that his statements were misleading and obstructed a congressional investigation. Comey, however, insists that he told the truth and that the charges are politically motivated. Judge Fitzpatrick's ruling doesn't determine guilt or innocence, but it raises serious doubts about whether the prosecution has followed proper legal procedures. That could be a major turning point. So what could happen next? Could this case be thrown out? And could this affect other prosecutions from the same team? If Comey's team successfully shows that the grand jury was tainted or that prosecutors mishandled key evidence, the case could be dismissed entirely. And if that happens, legal experts say it could trigger reviews of other politically sensitive cases, especially those involving former Trump critics like Bolton and Letitia James. Some analysts have even suggested that this case could become a major legal example in future debates about political influence in justice investigations. For now, the judge's order is temporarily paused, but one thing is clear. The spotlight is now not just on Comey, but on how the Justice Department has been conducting these prosecutions. This case is no longer just about one man. It's now about how justice is served in America. Was the legal process fair? Were political opponents targeted? And could the Justice Department's credibility be at risk? What do you think? Was James Comey unfairly targeted? Or is this just a legal system doing its job? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this breakdown insightful, don't forget to like the video, comment your opinion, subscribe for more deep dives into real-world political and legal dramas. See you in the next video.